How's it going? Getting all set up here, but we are gonna do a Gato Cup seed, and I'm gonna talk through kind of all my decisions along the way. I have the in-game music on because I'm just gonna be focused on this. I'm not gonna have any podcasts on or anything like that. Just gonna focus on explaining what I'm doing. So, Luca Ayla is a sick start. Um, it's pretty reliant on Ayla getting a couple of her techs, Tailspin and Triple Kick, but they have one of the best single target damage in the game, which is one of the tools that's useful both for Black Omen Go mode and Ocean Palace Go mode, because it's good against Zeal and Lavos. So this is kind of a lot of people's favorite duo right here. And then you just need a third member. I would like a frog, because that'd give me drop kick and access to drop kick and frog flare. But we're gonna do our shopping real quick, as always. I'm very particular on what I buy. We can do Dinodoro grind, but we'll do it after everything in case we were to find like a better weapon for Luca for free somewhere. Ooh, that's really unfortunate. Well, we're just gonna hope we don't need it. We're also going to grab a couple items. Actually, we are just going to do the grind now, because we're coming here for an item anyway. This is something new in my route lately. Like, that rune blade would be huge if Frog's at Cathedral or something. So we gotta wait for Luca, so that the first attack goes not on a bird, because it won't kill them. That gives us the auto crit on Ayla's, which is just enough to kill. And then same thing for the second. And then I probably wouldn't even have Luca attack here. Alright, that'll get us our first four attacks. Flame Toss Protect. Cat Attack Kiss. So not a great start for these. I'm actually going to go up here and grab this chest too, because we messed up our money a little bit. And I can definitely sell that third eye to make up for that. I could take this fight again if I needed to, but I don't see a lot of value in doing that right now. So we're going to come here, grab these chests. That mid-ether could get us out of the money hole I got us in. So we're just gonna sell that and the mid-ether, and that'll fix us. Okay. Grab the tab. That'll be real nice for Ayla, most likely. So let's see what this is. Ruby Knife. I'm probably just gonna buy it so we have it. You could save the money if you wanted to. I'm gonna check this guy, and if he sells shelters, then I'll probably buy a couple with whatever money I have left. He doesn't. So we'll just grab a couple extra revives for now, and we'll buy shelters later. We know that they're available in 600. Oh. Grab our carpenter tools item, and then we'll head towards Cathedral. Bent hilt. Okay. Grab our speed tab. Very important here. Especially with a Luca start. Because we're pretty much married to Luca. I think. Getting her early. She's almost always going to end up in the most efficient team that you have access to. And so, like, I'm pretty married to, like, buffing her up. Oh, I have the wrong tracker. Tracker. Just a second to fix this. There we go. So I am going to go ahead and use those. I'm going to hold on to the power tab. But okay. Let's go in here. We'll make it to bromide pretty quick. So this isn't going to be fast, but it's not going to be like killer slow, like if we were having to auto attack through it. Flame Toss is doing solid damage actually, like it could get us through a cathedral boss if it had to. And we don't have Marl or Frog, or Robo or Frog, and we're kind of hunting Frog, honestly. There's Robo, so that means Desert's in play. Pretty interesting. I really want to do back a cathedral. If Robo had shock on the way, that's the only thing I would go grind for right now. So I am going to take a look. It's heal beam, so I'm going to ignore it. But we are going to head into cathedral. Do bromide, see if we've got a good... Like, we've got a solid amount. Like, the types of damage that we have are pretty good. Grab this chest up here. Megaton arm. That's the only thing I pulled there that is going to make an immediate difference in these fights. Is now Robo can auto and probably take out one of these guys. That Flame Toss is wild efficient right now. Okay, we got Fire 2 on the way. So... this fight becomes much easier if I get access to Fire 2. Like everything else in there. So I'm actually going to back out. I'm either going to do the Dinerdoro grind a few times, or I would head into Hecarim, but I've only got Fire Spin. Let's hope that she can kill without the crit now. She cannot. That's good to know. Robo should be able to. Okay, good. Robo can. I bet Cat Attack would too. So if we're not afraid of using mana, we can do that real quick. We don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but Fire 2 would be huge. There's Laser Spin. Laser Spin is really garbage though. Damage-wise. Oh no, I don't want to do that. I just want to Ether. Alright. So like I said, I also thought about running into the front of Hecarim and just doing... I would have to do like the first 3 fights, but then I would be like halfway into the dungeon. So that is something worth like bearing in mind. This is 8 tech points a fight, so I have to do it 5 times. But like if that works, that's just enough damage. Like that's pretty quick. So that's 3. So you definitely could have, like, I could have gone in and known that Flame Toss would be enough. But I'll be a lot stronger after this. We're not going to get as lucky with the Luca lineup this time. Oh, we're getting nice with the counters, though. Make it the same fight, pretty much. Oh, and I already did starting loot and bromide. We can grab the bromide reward on the way out of here, too. Alright, I think this is the last one we have to do. Alright, 1 Bellbird down. That was a good lineup. Alright, what's that leave us at? 2 tech points. So we'll go ahead and take the fight for the, Alright. Take 1 more to get it. And then we're gonna head in, clear out the back of Cathedral, and then we can stomp through Hecarim Cave. Which will be really nice. You know what? If I've noped... Well, no, because I want the character in Cathedral. Because if it's somebody I'm going to add in my team, I want to be able to do it before I get all the experience from Hecarim Cave. So talk to that, then him, and then face left here. So that you don't check the door again with a sparkle again. And then we should be able to grab this. And then we can use those because those are all going to be super effective right now. And we're going in. Let's finish this off. So like I said, I could have gone in with just Flame Toss, and that may have been the better play. But seeing an amazing tech that quick was like... I mean, it cost me a few times of going through this, like, organ room fight. For sure. The slow way. But I'm gonna be a lot stronger, like, most of the dungeons are gonna be in reach for me. We'll have to see if it pays off or not. So we're gonna run through here. Get another Frenzy Band. hit this switch. Only the bat is real. Hold down left. That was clean. And then we sheltered before we came in. Otherwise, I'd make sure I have enough for fire too. But I know I do. We still have Ayla as our fastest team member. And we may need to take that thing off of her before the boss at Friends Command. Certain bosses that could get us in big trouble. Decent damage, I'd say. Oh, we got a terror arm. So it is kind of pushing us towards Robo. The problem is this team would be very reliant on Beast Toss. There's a couple problems with that. First of all, my knowledge of what bosses are Beast Tossable and what bosses are not is not as good as other people's probably would be. The other problem... Oh, we have that Robo Arm. The other problem is that you can't use it on either of the final bosses. And so even though you have access to this great damage tool, you can't use it for some of the fights that it would be like most helpful for. Alright, we're just gonna ether. Okay. Let's see what we're running into here. I think if I was happier with this team, then when I left the Dinodoro grind with Fire 2, like let's say I had Chrono as my third member, or Frog, then I would have left that Dinodoro grind part way through when I was like 20 tech points away, and I would have gone to Heckran Cave and gotten the other 20 from that first fight. Oh yeah, this will work just fine. And that would have worked out really nicely. But like I said, I'm not in love with this team. I mean, I guess auto attack might be enough. Yeah. Alright, we made it through the rest of Cathedral pretty quick, I'd say. Lapis is nice. We can sell it if we need. Otherwise, its late game use is super nice. Also in Gato Cup, we don't necessarily have to feel bad if we have to use it on like a mid or early game boss, because we'll run into more of them. And if we end up clearing desert, which we probably will since we have Robo, then we'll end up buying a couple. But I'm really hoping for Frog, Marl, or Chrono here. And it's Chrono. Chrono's a great third-party member for this team. Gives us access to a physical AoE with Falcon Hit. So I think I'm going to swap him in and hope we run into a good weapon. His techs aren't going to really change what we're doing. That's why I'm not stopping to check them necessarily. Heckran Cave is my play. And we'll end up getting a bunch of techs while we're going through there anyway. So, as far as I'm concerned, we'll look at them after. Because we've got Fire 2 to get through this place. We have the desert in play, but I'd like to have a better AoE. Even Falcon Hit. Something we could use for this. Almost got Luminaire. Oops. Alright, we gotta make sure that we're ethering between fights here. We won't really need it on anyone but Luca, but I'm gonna do it on everybody now. And then we'll do it on Luca between battles. So this is the fight that if you only had Fire Toss, for example... Ooh, I do have it there. If you only had Flame Toss, you'd hit it on the jar, and then you'd auto-attack the rest down, or use, like, Cat Attack or something. Excellent. A lot of tech points. 25. I'm at the point, you were right about this. Always skip that fight. It really wants Robo in this team. Then I have to deal with Robo's speed. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of a chance to find a good weapon for Chrono, I think. Before I lock into Robo. Ooh, Tailspin, Fire Whirl. Those are huge. They ignore defenses. I don't have to ether after every fight, right? I can do every two. Oh, I can do it. Or less than that. Ooh, Fire Sword is awesome. I'm actually pretty happy to see that. We have answers for like everything from Lavos spawn. We would struggle a little bit with something like Retinite. We'd have to confuse through it and just hope. Oh, that would suck though. Retinite might be the only thing we would nope out of. Because we don't have any physical dual techs. That Fire 2 is cheap with that silver stud. Oh, it's Fire Sword 2. That would make it a little bit harder on Lavos spawn, but we'd still have Confuse. No decent Chrono Sword yet, though. Could definitely be an argument for continuing to use Robo, even if it's temporary. I don't want to waste that. So we're going to waste just a little bit of time. Oh, real quick, make sure I didn't pull a sword that I missed. Nope, alright. Oh, that's fine. I was thinking about taking the bandana off Chrono, but the silver stud is too useful right now on Luca. And that's really who I would want to move it over to. We'll go right into Fire Swords. 930. want to see what Tailspin's doing. No new dual effects or anything from that. It's a little unfortunate. So we'll go grab our key item before kind of looking at what to do next. I don't know if Fire 2 is strong enough to clear stuff in Desert, but both Bridge and Desert, and Dinodoro would be in play. Dreamstone means we're on a hunt for Gate Key now. So now we want to shift to time-based checks, even more so than usual. So we're going to do... We're going to check Bridge, and then we're probably going to clear Desert either way. If we find Gate Key here, that is. Alright. See what we get here, and then we can reset out if we need to. We're going to reset out of that, and we're going to head to Desert. Dinodoro is definitely in play as well, but as we've talked about, like, even for how short Desert is, you don't even have to take all the fights if you don't want. But you'll end up stronger than when you walked in. And that is not true of Dinodoro. You usually end up about the same as when you walk in. But here's what I've been playing around with. So if you do this, this is the one fight you have to take. But I've been taking a couple fights in this top area, but not taking everything. But if we got Go, could be going. That's unfortunate. We need fire. Oh, Luca's dead. This is really unfortunate. I thought that fire too would do more than it did. So we would have to use the good firework to clear this fight efficiently. Oh, that sucks. We're just gonna get out of this one. Yeah, we're almost up to Lucas' turn. Yeah, we were short. So I think if we do heal everybody up real quick, but that's why, like, I'm a little scared if we were to find Go mode right now, we'd be in trouble. Now that is a problem that we can deal with after we run into it, but this is a really rich source of XP, and it can be a tough boss fight. So what I've been doing is when you enter up by this chest, I'll grab that fight I just took, and then I'll grab this fight here, and then I'll grab the fight to the left where the chest is, and then I'll head out if I'm not going to. And if I don't have Willow, I'll just grab those 3 or 4 fights, grab the tech points from that, and then leave. So I'm not spending a bunch of time in here. I'm getting something. This seed, it just makes a lot of sense to go ahead and come in through here. Come in through here, grab the chest, go into the second room. They're also dropping hyper ethers, which is just super helpful. Alright, now we can leave and go to the second room by skipping the fights here. Through that path. We'll grab the stuff in here. Speed belt is huge. Magic seal could be helpful. Power seal will be helpful. Still no products. I really don't want to have to deal with Robo Speed. So if the seed wants me to play Robo, it's going to give me Robo Ribbon for the Desert Track here. Otherwise, I'm sticking with it. That's because Chrono's weapon. Stronger from that. We walked in like level we walked in at like level 14. So on the way out, we'll try to grab that chest. We'll grab this tab. We cannot grab those again, which is why they are not Chrono Sanity chests. We need that robot guy. And of course we have Dinodoro available after this. If this doesn't lead to something, then we might even do Dinodoro either way. If we were to go mode items away, I would consider doing Dinodoro before collecting this key item, but then you do run the risk of if it's pendant. Alright, let's see what we get. Gate key would be wild, pendant would be maybe more likely. Could be something completely off the wall, giant, like it could be Thomas Pop. It could not be the other sword piece. It could be the Hero's Medal, which doesn't really tell us anything. Because we don't even have that frog boy. So it just tells us that we're gonna go pick that up before we go anywhere else. We'll grab these chests while we're coming through here. Oh, Magus is in the burrow. Thomas Pop. Now we get to the old Dinodoro or Thomas Pop discussion. We get a speed tab on Dinodoro, so I'm gonna go Dinodoro. And we would have to change time periods twice to go Giant's Claw. Like immediately right now. We would have to change time periods twice. Oh, we have a robot. That should be okay. We should have maybe bought a decent sword for Chrono, though. Was it worth going back? Is it worth running to Melchior? We would have to change time periods to go to Melchior. That's the only reason I'm going to say no. Robo will one-shot this. We shouldn't really be fighting anything else up here, so I'm not gonna like ether up. I am gonna get rid of this robot though. I think Giant's Claw would have been a perfectly valid option here too. I'm mostly picking Dinodoro because the speed tab and because I don't want to feel like I put it off. Because I don't know what it is about Dinodoro, but as soon as you put it off, it's the one place you needed to go. So like this could be a seed where like Giant's Claw's pendant. You can. I thought I would, but I wasn't. I didn't get the timing good enough. But yeah, if Giant's Claw was pendant and this is gate key, then like that's divergence that would be really meaningful for how this seed goes. I have no reason to think that that's the way it is. Sometimes you just. Sometimes being decisive is more important than like playing perfectly accurate. And so sometimes you just have to kind of go with your gut about it. Alright. Save. We're gonna grab this because it's Gato Cup. This is our speed tab, which is huge. Oh. You know what? We're married. We're married. For that game, give me a good chrono sword. Marry him. As soon as the rocks start getting thrown, you can go. I think I worded that bad the first time we went. Because you'll end up getting to the ladder after the second rock, and that's what's important. So not a terribly long dungeon, but neither is Giant's Claw when well executed. The difference is the boss. The boss here will be more manageable than the boss there. But we're pretty strong See, Fire Sword 2 will do a lot more projectile for That's the other benefit I guess. Whereas right now we're kind of finding one. Speaking of which, there's an Aeon Blade, which I think is a chrono weapon. I'm not 100%, so we'll find out after this fight. It's not a top 3 sword or anything, but it might be, you know, 3 times as good. Lava spot. We have to be careful. Oh, nice thing, the flame toss that hits the beak. Not a lot of damage, we'll probably just take another second. Making massive things into it. Ayla, or Luca's not actually dead. She's just napping. Oh. Yeah, she's alright. Alright, that should do it. Prism specs. That might let us switch the Silver Stud to Ayla for when she gets Triple Kick. Because Triple Kick's problem is it just costs so much, and you're having to ether her and Luca. We can take that off of Ayla, and then we can put the Prism specs on Luca, because she'll be doing so much of the heavy lifting. This is... oh god. I was gonna say, if this is pendant, then we would have a really difficult decision to make. But, like, we're gonna go do Giant's Claw. And even once we do Giant's Claw, like, if that's pendant, we might end up having to do Bridge. Which is a super weird feeling. What we need most right now, we need her to be fast. Prism specs. now we have to go dump out the tunnel. I'm not gonna look for better stuff. I'm just gonna head straight for the grave. There it is. Now, what's interesting is there's a couple different ways this could play out where this isn't pendant. For example, this could lead to gate key, and then either the character on Dactyl Nest or the breastplate layer would have to lead to pendant, or somehow like a fetch quest to pendant. I don't need to worry about that. We're not going to be fighting anything in here unless we mess up. It'd be real nice to find like a Kali blade or a swallow. Just like a real good top 3 sword for me. Just relax. The seed could definitely send us to the future still. This could very easily be pendant. And if this is pendant, we have to follow it, remembering that the chrono trigger is on bridge. And it can completely shake up what go mode we thought we were going to get. Dash ring. Like as much of a waste of an accessory slot, because Luca works so fast. Secret chest over here. A lot easier to see when it sparkles. Go at the bottom here. And up into the door. Around the pillars. Head towards that sparkle we just saw. Real quick, double check everybody's got the best weapon for what to do, and see if anybody's learning something important. And flares on the way in less than 100, so we have to take this. So I'm just holding the auto attack button, that X, to auto attack, and we just need Ayla and Chrono to hit. See, look, tech point doubling got us 2 techs on Ayla. That's why we got that. Pretty big. The audacity of that rock to stay alive with combatants too is pretty hilarious. So we're gonna get to shelter in just a second, but I want to grab this tab real quick. Putting him on Chrono because in game he'll be doing really good things with Luca as far as dual techs go, but also even if Ayla is doing the heavy lifting with Luca, that means Chrono's on his own trying to hold up and do damage too. That's so funny. It's Elder Lavos. We get to fight back to back. We're a little bit stronger from that fight and from those rebels. We also have a little bit more I can flare, it's just gonna get overly messed up. Might not be too bad. Yeah, I'm just gonna use my biggest tips here. We're taking the counter attack, but it'll only hit one card. Remember, we have life. We have life, I would use it more. That might have been a bad tactical choice. I wasn't close enough to the oh my god. We definitely fault on it. I'm real slow. You know what? We're gonna prioritize finishing the fight. That dark bomb might hit me low enough that his counters. Okay. Alright, we're right outside. We know what to expect going into here. Part of it's she's just not that helpful in this fight. Okay, what I need to do is I need to go in not trying to duel. I don't think Spire's because it's using Chrono's lackluster magic staff. About 1k damage with the, not Spire, but whatever the Chrono Lightning. We're doing a lot more than that. Just, let's get here. Nice. Much better fight. We changed up our tactics. We got moon armor. Moon armor's pretty sweet. And let's see what we will be rewarded. It very well could be pendant. Yep, it is pendant. There's a part of me that wants to run and do bridge now, but there's the other part of me knows that I can go back and do bridge, like whenever I need, you know what I mean? And so I think I'm gonna run straight to the future. decimated our revive supply earlier with a couple like weird party drops. I'm gonna grab a handful of those too. Head down to the castle. Think about who I'm sending in. I think I'm gonna go Luca. Because I've got our speed up to 15. So somebody definitely could have gone to Giant's Claw before Dinadoro. It would have been a harder fight, but they could have gotten through it, and that would have put them on this track slightly early. They might lose time at the Dragon Tank fight itself, because that boss spot can be tricky if it's like a difficult boss. We're pretty well prepared for pretty much anything. Somebody here who got here, 8 minutes earlier without having fought Dinadoro boss might be a little bit weaker, but not much. So we would be playing catch up a little bit potentially here. But that would be, I don't know if that'd be a standard play for people. I think a lot of people would head up Dinadoro first. Some people would have done bridge, and there could have been a crazy drop on bridge. Nice, that's enough. Come on, Luca. Alright, 1 or 2. It's gonna be the first fight we're gonna try to grab a fire 2 or a flare. Probably fire 2. You don't get a ton of tech points through this section, so I don't usually think about, like, I don't really think about which party member to get tech points, although I guess if you had a party member who had died like during an early boss, you could bring them through here to try to make up the tech points and then take these 2 fights, I guess, if you really wanted. I mean, it's not a ton of tech points, though. I mean, you'd be talking making up like 12 tech points. It'd be like, Dinadoro's only like 20. Ooh, that felt off. I'm a little shocked it gave it to me. Alright, and that'll bring us to the Dragon Tank fight. We'll shelter before it. We might just mid-tonic and ether. Save our shelters for when we really important. Those are just 5 mid-tonics. Ooh, it is a mutant. This would have been a scary fight to run into. This is not the pushover. That's the only one that is like super important. Just I have no reason to want to do more. You do not know how badly I want to go to. If I was wrong, it would hurt so bad. It could be the Grand Leon. There's not that many checks left. I only need one thing. For 2 different go modes, because I know where the chrono trigger is. I have to do something else. That's kind of the unfortunate thing. Sun Palace is like the most efficient check here. And it just doesn't make sense to not do it. As much as I would love for it to not make sense. Or for it to make sense to not. Stop talking to me and let me walk through the door you can't open. Okay. Like I said, it just doesn't make sense to not. I think it's just always gonna make sense to beef her up. Like to give her the speed. Because eventually we're not gonna want her in that dash room. Top takes bottom is fire that was actually a real nice damage. So we could easily get pushed to bridge if this is the clone. And we could... This could be garbage still. Could be the gatekeeper. Could be the prism shard. Which means we might have to check future character. Which is a little annoying. So I'm Forest Dome first. Even if that does hold the key to our go mode, that other path, like the character is Marl, and it leads, you know, even if it does, there's another go mode out here for us. Run through here super quick. Quicker than we would be able to get through Genodome. The difference is we would walk out of Genodome stronger. But this would be the more standard play every time. Over Genodome. Checking the character for the potential to go to Prism Shard, it's a 50-50 game. But here's the funny thing. It could lead to fraud. Like, if this was the other side, fraud. Slasher 2 is rad. Slasher 1 with speed plus 2 is rad. I don't think we're gonna go for the loot room. Oh man. As soon as I say that out loud, I'm like, what if it rainbows? I think I'm gonna grab the hair. There are things I can pull that will make big changes to my run. I also need to do a quick equip sometime. Because like I know I have that moon armor that I should have on Chrono before the next time I need to fight. Ooh, Nova armor is huge. So yeah, I'm glad I did that. So I'm going to menu and equip stuff. So that's protection, like full protection against status. Prism specs off of your power seal. Like your silver stud, actually. So that should be perfect. Alrighty. Let's go see what Dome's got for us. Could be a game key. Could be a Could be a moonstone. Moonstone would be really wild. Let's see what Dome's got for us. It's the clone. We've got a go mode in our sights. We gotta go to bridge. So that means Gino would have had the gate key. So Gino... Well, not necessarily. Gino... No, it would have... Gino had to have been gate key, or Woe, because we technically have Woe access too. And the Prism Shard. So never mind, there's a number of ways this could have shaken out. But we're off to Roach. Real quick. And we've got a real nice team for this Goma. I would say. We don't need to save before this, that was silly. But this is one of the free shelters. When you do this, it fully heals your team. It's just a little bit of dialogue canceling. And see, this is a great example of why oftentimes I'll do things like buy the ruby knife early in the feud, or sometimes I'll do bridge to get something that I might not need. But, because I definitely lost some time having to come back. I'll stomp this area, and you know, if I get to the end of it and it's red knight, I'm going to be super happy that I'm fighting him now and not then. But this place has notoriously good drops on enemies. No, just shadow. Okay. That's good. We'll just use lightning. I wasn't paying attention to the drops on that. There might not have even been drops. It's random if there are. We'll all pay a little bit more attention here. Because that's the other thing, is what if, like, rainbows are dropping here, and I could have had a rainbow for a dungeon. Hyper Ether and Soviet K. Not that good. Alright, let's go which one we get. This one. A big mistake. Picked the wrong baseball to Alright. This fella have revives. That's alright. Alright, we're in go mode. We have attacks. We have a super fast defense. We have flare. So, like, we should be able to stomp through this place. I'm gonna try to nail the skips and death speak. I've been doing a lot better on them. I watched that Moon Blizzard video on what we call, like, the swag skip. And it made a lot more sense. I've been kind of nailing it, so. It's really easy when you go onto that screen after the first hard skip. You have to, like, run between the two enemies, the two crackers. When you do the transition, just hold right until you get past the tree, and then you hold up. As soon as you get past the tree, you hold up. I'll show you what I mean. But I want to mention it because it'll go by real fast. Well, that was embarrassing. I really wanted the power tab. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up. I ran out a hair early and it was like, nah. You don't get to go. Just stop running. Every time you hit one of those trees, it will save you a lot of hassle. They have less... They like push you off the tree less when you're walking. Oh, I was not quite far enough. Besides, not worth just running. I also just don't know what they're weak to. For sure. Oh, that was unfortunate. Alright, that skip I was describing is on this next transition. So I'm just holding right until I get to the tree, and then I'm holding up. And it's pretty cool when it works. There it was. And then hug the wall. You hug the wall, you won't get the encounter. I go on the inside so I can grab that chest. This dungeon's not bad once you get good at it. Once you practice it. Once you nail the skips, you won't even use mana. And you won't even use it the other way up. But there is a high tier chest at the save point. So. Oh, I don't know about that. Couple hiccups in this I was gonna say, I always feel like I have to do like a double V there, and I didn't that time. So I kind of felt like it was slightly off. Keeping my distance from the guy at the bottom, because I've hit that fight by running too fast before. And that gets us to the end here. Everybody's healed. Just a little missing. Cool. I'm still going to go down here and grab the chest and save, but I'm not going to have to waste time trying to shelter and all that. Son of Sun, we're fast enough for this. We also have tails. old-fashioned way. I did do that in a seed recently, but it was more of like a mid-game area. It wasn't, and I think I had fire protection when I did it. Left. Left, left. I think it's going to be close, but we're going to be one short. 8. Yeah, see? We're 2 short. And risking Prana. Prana can't take the damage. They're just going to heal themselves. We'll just try right. You're gonna see why you'll sometimes see me heal. I'm not gonna do it here, but yeah, see, like, he's dead. It can even happen after Sun is losing its fire. But it can even happen after that message. Flare can come out, and it can mess you up or cost you from getting attack XP. No, Summer Sun, come this way, please. Alrighty. Speed tab. You don't say. Alright. I'll use this chance to grab a drink. And drop stuff on the floor. Which I think will be helpful. So I'm very confident going into this go mode because I know nothing in here resists fire that I have to fight, and my Luca is fast, super fast. I have flare, which is going to be awesome for everything. I can probably even use fire too through most of it. You can't do it in the future here. Where is chrono speed? And then I'm gonna make chrono a powerhouse. We're still gonna hope to find something like stellar for I could have eaten the cake, house too. If I was low on shelters, 11 is plenty for running through here. I'm gonna hope Luminaire will do enough to kill. I'm a little surprised Luca's not as fast. I guess she was getting +3 speed from the dash ring, but I'm still. I guess that puts her one below Chrono and Ayla here. It was a little unfortunate. I would have definitely used it on Luca to get her caught up, make her the first AoE user. So actually, as we're running through here, I'm gonna have it equipped because it'll make the menuing easier. And I'm not gonna be close on damage on any of these fights. Speed is just so good. Speed tab drops on goons. That's pretty huge. That'll let me fix things in here, actually. No drop on those guys. Good to know. We have 1,000,000 shelters, so we'll use one. Pretty low on MP, and it gives us an excuse to do that. Okay, it'll leave us one slower than Chrono. That's okay. Because Chrono can still get us through these panels, we found out. We're still missing like a couple of our techs that would give us like some of our good dual techs. Well, hopefully we're not going to actually give you like the max tech point value at like 55. And that's like an absurd amount of tech points, so we're going to rely on those. Hit through 2 of them. We got to get into the 3rd. And we start running immediately. We don't want to mess with this. We're going to be strong enough from kind of the other... Oh, I wasn't fast enough. That skip is like really tight on how you have to do the movement to get past those guys. I think I moved too far left and the guy that was spinning saw me actually. We don't need any of these extra fights, I don't think. We're pretty decent level for kind of full clearing zone 1. Or not zone 1, but kind of spear 1. Got really good techs, we've got a good team. We're still missing fire. It's going to be part of it. And triple kick. And spin cut. Spin cut and triple kick are going to be like the pieces we're missing. Okay. That was nice. Make it look like I'm going to skip. This looks like a job. Fire team. What I like to do to these guys. Fire too. You can also use, you cannot use shadow or lightning on these guys. In this next room, we're gonna move right, like immediately. Oh. Trap. That's one of those rooms, I think I've really messed myself over on this room. Because I had muscle memory through it. And then when I started trying to, like, think about what I did, it really started messing with me. And I cannot get through those first two fights anymore. Having one more speed to lose. Because I think this is just, yeah, let's go way on the outside there. This gets us to the new shop. A bunch of loot. Got good stuff, but I'd like mega elixirs to be for sale. Elixirs, so we're not going to spend a lot of time here. We do have one mega elixir. Not going to take like any fights unless we have to, because both of the techs we've been waiting on this whole seed are like within the next boss from getting them. We don't really need to take extra stuff to get them. Even taking these extra fights, oh man, even taking these extra fights wouldn't even necessarily get us like spin cut or triple kick. So like, look how much time we're spending skipping this. Some people would argue about like, we may have ended up through it at the same amount of time. I think that time I beat it by at least a few seconds, having gone in and get out of the fight, but not by a ton. Yeah, see, this one's a good example of that. Because, like, I could have just ran straight into that and I would have been out by now. Especially with how fast we are. Our runaway animation's very fast. Like our tank. Get into this fight. When we get out of this fight, we want to inch down and check the turret. The turret will almost always be facing like the right way for you to go. But you just want to be aware of which way the turret's facing, because if it catches you, you'll get into a fight. If you just inch down, it's pointing to the right, now it's pointing down. Perfect. We got another speed tab. Okay, let's do, she's just so good. Why wouldn't we? Okay, our next split is after these next two bosses that are in the level. Do the necklace, grab the chest. Come up here, don't start to fight with these guys. Grab the chest, use the squares. Alright, that'll bring us to the boss spot. And I gave her back prism specs. Power seal. Okay. What do we got here? Excellent. We can deal with them all day. Famous last march. Hit with a tailspin. Ooh, with that heal especially. I'm just trying to make sure, I was trying to make sure that this next flare wasn't going to be just under damage. But I might end up, if this doesn't finish, Chrono Lethal over flare and finish next turn. That's exactly what obstacle. Boss is going to be nice. He won't kill two of my party members. Excellent. There's triple kick, blaze kick, Gatling kick. The only thing you'd see me use Gatling kick on would be something we can't run into, because we already have the seed, which would be like lava spawn, because then Luca already can't contribute, so we might as well have her doing a risky triple attack with us at times. To the next lift. Blaze kick is like the single highest dual tech damage for single target. So for this go mode especially, it's going to be incredibly important to have. The problem with Gatling Kick is that 2 party members would get the speed penalty. And it just makes it really risky, and also the fights that you would kind of run it for. It just doesn't out damage in the way it would need to be like an easy choice. For it to be like fix it with one of our mini mana items. And go right back to flaring. Ooh, there's Falcon hit. That means we have an answer for Red Knight now. Wouldn't be like my favorite answer for Red Knight, but it's an answer for Red Knight, I reckon. We're about to shelter. Feels right. A little bit of safety on my life 1 user. Where I could need it. This is easy peasy. Is it Falcon hit? This is the one where you have to go backwards. Okay. Because they prank you with the double bosses. It's the mutant we're not with. You know what you might like? Might like Falcon. Oh no, he doesn't. He likes Flare. He likes Flare just So we're A-okay to just run forward, get into the panel fight, and then it spawns us another save point. This seems wild because it kind of set us up like we were going to get one go mode. And then us the other go mode in a really funny way. Well, it just wants me to do that now. So... You'll get to see some Gato kicks here, I reckon. Let's see how slow Chrono is acting, even though his speed is a pretty great stat. That's because the speed penalty. He and, I don't know who else gets it this time. It might be Ayla. Get it for this one, because they both seem slow as heck. Alright, we're gonna go for the menu glitch. And just take a this team, they can always also at some point, like, got two megalixirs, so I can actually, I don't have to be as careful in this fight. In the Mammoth Machine fight, sometimes what I'll do is, on the back end of the Mammoth Machine fight, when I know I've almost got him down, I'll spend a turn healing elixir and everything. We're not really going to have to do that. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get different attacks set up on different characters. So Blaze Kick is going to be on Ayla. Fire Sword Team. Oh, good news. He's not gonna let me. Because we are still in a damage race. This guy's gonna interfere with us again. I can't take my time. And that'll get us through that. So now at the start of this next fight, I can have Chrono throw out a Mega Elixir, because I have two of them. So since I have two of them, I can just throw one out at the start of the fight, have everybody in full MP. Or if I'm strong enough to get a couple turns in, then I'll do that. And I'll just hold off on Halo. Because I don't want to play too risky. But if I need to, I think I'm probably going to find some, maybe two partners. Not okay. I'm going to use light and then a Mega Elixir this race that we're in, that we really need to win quick. So remember, we set up Blaze Kick on that. Almost doing 2 KO, so that's incredible. I've got to play this risky. Yeah, that's crazy. Because that means we're doing 5k damage. That's insane. We already knocked into Elation. Nice. Alright, we wait for the MP Buster. And then we Mega Elixir. We wait. This is about to be over. This should kill. Alright, not my fastest seed, but I dealt with some things well. I made good decisions based on, I don't know, I made good decisions based off kind of the options I had, and, based on, like, the fastest available check to me. There were a couple things I might have done different. I might not have, I might not have grinded the front of Dinodoro, but I sure liked the results of it. I also could have done... I don't know. I could have stuck with Robo. I had enough speed tabs to have stuck with Robo. And the benefit of sticking with Robo is I could have went straight to Hecarim Cave after deciding to grind the front of Hecarim, or the front of Dinodoro, like I did. But I'm pleased with that. I'm going to upload that. And Zayden, if you watched that, I hope you learned something from this. And good luck in your matches.